Your Town Matters is funded by the Government of Canada through the Local Journalism Initiative and supported by Cactus Media, Canada's independent community television association.
I'm Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Your Town Matters. Today I'm joined by the Mayor of the Town of St. Andrews, Brad Henderson, for a year in review. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Brad.
As always, I appreciate the opportunity.
Let's look back at 2024 and the year that was, but we can start by something very recent, which is the budget. Let's talk a little bit about where the town's at with that.
Yeah, so we have submitted our budget to the province. It did get approved. There was, I call this probably one of the most difficult processes I've had on my time on council. I remember on the previous council, there was one that we dissected the budget, every line item, and it was a good exercise to do to fully understand where all of every single dollar was going. But that took meeting. We were meeting twice a week for pretty much almost, I guess you could say, almost half a year. It was that many meetings on the budget specifically. This one, again, we did get to a more, a micro level, which is what every council should do. But there was also some friction, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. There were some heated debates at times. I think it almost seemed almost a little bit personal. Able to wheel it back in and concentrate on what the true purpose was, and it was the budget. I think that the residents will be pleased to see that the mill rate in every ward was in fact lowered, so the tax rate has gone down. When you look at St. Andrews as a whole, we had over 3% growth in construction. So what we did is we took that new construction, and that was our tax-based growth. And everyone is like, oh, you got to get more taxes. Well, you do. The cost of everything's going up. So if you're not increasing your tax base, you've got to cut services. So because of new construction, we're able to grow our tax base, but not at the backs of the taxpayer. So does that mean that every single person's tax bill is going to stay the same? No, it does not. There's circumstances where some people's appraisals go up, some people's aren't as high. Some people will see maybe a slight increase. Some will see it stay the same, but some might see a slight reduction depending on what their home was assessed for. And of course, the municipality has no say in the assessment process. That is up to the province of New Brunswick. But for the most part, existing homeowners, we did not grow the tax base on them. We held it the same as we did last year, which is a big win for a municipality.
As far as the growing pains with amalgamation go, do you feel like you're at a healthier place this year than, let's say, last year?
I owe it to you, to be completely honest. I owe it to the public. No, I don't think that we are healthier. I think we're seeing, we've talked about it a bunch. I did that video a long time ago before municipal reform even happened. I got a snapshot at what it would look like, and I talked about the impacts it was going to have on taxes. And I think we're seeing that after a couple budgets, the frustrations coming forward. And at the end of the day, no one wants to pay more in taxes. The bills are going up everywhere, whether it be NB Power, whether it be even your internet at home. I don't know about you, but I can tell you that my disposable income is getting squeezed every direction. I think everybody's across our entire community and country is. So as that is there, all of the different wards, whether it be St. Andrews, Shamcook, or Bayside, they're doing the best they can to hold the taxes where they are today. And with the model that we were cascaded by the province of New Brunswick, which does have lots of flaws in it, I'm the first to admit, that's where a lot of this friction's coming from. The other source of friction that I find that is really jumping out is DTI still manages the roads in Shamcook and Bayside. I'm not proposing that the municipality take those all over because we actually don't have the assets to do that. But 41 cents of the taxes from Shamcook Bayside are going to the province of New Brunswick. And the residents in those areas made it clear that they do not think that they're getting that value back. If you look at road conditions, the shoulders from washouts, if you look at the way vegetation's getting cut back, they just don't see any way in which the service is there. And the other thing is there's no communication. They call town hall. Town hall rightfully says, well, the province manages them, but then they don't really find any way to communicate with the province to get their issues looked at. So, there was some things in the municipal reform that should have been worked out a lot more that would have made this an easier ride. But I will say that we've been able to overcome these and continue to make decisions that are improving our community, whether it be with our Parks and Recreation Department, which people have seen great growth with, whether it be with holding taxes the same. We've had some major wins as a community, but it doesn't come without some speed bumps along the way. And municipal reform was probably about as big of a speed bump as you could throw in front of local government over the last couple decades, to be honest.
New Brunswick's new premier, Susan Holt, was sworn in November. She was here in early December to meet with you. Are these some of the issues you brought up? Can you tell us a little bit about what that conversation was and how that meeting went?
DTI was a big part of it. I do think we have a path forward, so thank you for that. We do have meetings coming up in the new year to sit down with key, executives within DTI as far as government officials. And we're really going to work on improving that communication. And for example, is having an asset management plan. When are you planning to upgrade this road? So at least we can tell residents, hey, it's getting bumpy, but it's going to be replaced next year. I know that's not an answer people like, but at least if you give them an honest answer, it's something that they know. So we did talk about that, but we talked about a whole lot of things. I will be honest, Susan Holt, before she became premier, the last 2 years made several trips to St. Andrews. I, of course, will meet with any government official, anyone. I am, nonpartisan when it comes to what the official is, because the community needs a municipal government that's willing to work with anyone to be successful. And I'm a big believer personally in my own values that if you do a good job, I'll support you. If you don't, I'll vote for someone else. And really, my door is open to anyone. So she had a good understanding of all the issues. She's talked about the Passamaquoddy Lodge and the fact that there was a project that we're hoping to have commence. But probably another big one that we talked about in the area was doctor recruitment. Although St. Andrews is very fortunate to have Dr. Levesque Taylor and Dr. Peer here in the community, the reality is, as a region, the amount of family doctors we have has declined significantly. And that doesn't just limit within community walls. Having an extra doctor in St. Andrews is good for Eastern Charlotte and St. Stephen. An extra doctor there is good for us. We're all codependent on each other because people do travel around the region for them. Mm-hmm. My family doctor is actually in Fredericton, so I can speak even further. So we did talk about that, but we talked about a number of different issues. We had a long list of things that we wanted to talk to, but I will say that it is extremely impressive to see a premier so early in her time, in her role, already being the one to reach out. It wasn't something I requested. There's a follow-up, so I'm going to be requesting a meeting in January. But to see her reach out and to say, hey, I'd like to come down and see you. Now that I actually am in these seats, let's have a meeting and talk about priorities. So it was good, but reform was a heavy part of what we were talking about. And then, of course, there's fiscal reform as well. There is new services that the municipality now has to pay for through the Regional Service Commission. But there's no new revenue streams with that. So we have more money leaving our community and no new revenue to come with it. So that is a hassle for a lot of communities. St. Andrews, unfortunately, did not have a lot of equalization payments, but there's communities around us that did. Those are declining. So it's like a double-edged sword. We're taking money away from you, but we're also making you put money somewhere else. St. Andrews feels it, but there's other municipalities that are probably feeling that even more.
Any sense from Premier Holt? We know that St. Stephen is getting one of those first community clinics. The first 10 in the province is going to our neighbors in St. Stephen. Any sense that we might be 2026 in St. Andrews?
I don't think that we are part of that plan. However, I am excited to say that, although I can't get into specifics of it right now, I am excited to say that I am working with Councillor Harlan and our Wellness Center to find a way in which we improve healthcare in St. Andrews. There's lots of opportunity to do that, and I'm really hoping that I can sit back here in the new year to give an exciting update on something that we're working on. But one of those things that, as much as I want to be open about it, I just out of respect for the partners that I'm talking to, I can't now. But we are working on something. If we are able to land this, and it is looking optimistic, this will be huge news for the entire region.
Oh, exciting. So we'll look forward to
teaser.
that in 2025.
You got to follow us in the new year. Like, it's going to be even bigger shows, right?
And I will let you know, once again, you have one most frequent guest And from the bottom of our hearts, we do appreciate that. That level of transparency in government is so important, and you've been so dedicated to coming to this couch every month to tell us what's going on in the community, and that means a lot.
I have to reverse that, though. I have to be straight up, like from the bottom of my heart. So my time on council, when I first got involved in municipal government, we had a reporter named Barb Rayner with the Courier. If Barb Rayner wasn't there, the community really didn't know what was going on. She was the only one that was there. She wrote on it. But CHCO getting involved with municipal politics to the level that they have, to be able to have all of our meetings on actually social media on CHCO, like it is about as transparent as any level of government possibly can. And the fact that you and I get to talk about issues like this, CHCO is a game changer in the visibility of municipal government. And if I didn't have CHCO here, I really think it would be hard. I know I'm active on social for a mayor perspective, but it would be a lot harder to be transparent without you. So right back at you. I really appreciate all these opportunities.
Well, thank you so much. And one issue we've been covering for quite a while is council's interest in affordable housing. I think that was a key priority for every council and for you when you ran for mayor as well. And now we've seen the Compass Housing Project come to fruition. The tenants are in. It was a $500,000 grant from the town that we've been following the whole way through. How does it feel to have this open and to have this actually come to life in the community?
It feels fantastic. Like when you say you want to run for any level of government, but municipal government, and you want to make impact on something, the reality is housing's not something you can just do like this. It takes years. Like you have to build it. You have to get the funding. But Compass Housing is one of a few projects the municipality got involved with, but probably the best example of affordable housing. It's important for the public to know that we never said we wanted to get into low-income housing. We wanted to get into affordable, meaning that if you want to have like a place that Compass Housing, you probably do need some type of revenue. You need to have worked your entire life. You need to maybe have a service job in the downtown, but it isn't something that is government subsidized to live there. I'm not saying there's not a need for it, but we were targeting affordable housing, and that's exactly what Compass Housing is. I had the opportunity to go there while people were moving in. I got to meet some of the residents, and as well I talked to the landowner, the landlord, about some of the stories of the people moving in. And I would never get into specifics, but you've got situations where people were struggling. You had seniors on fixed income. You had several examples of people that moved out of our community because they couldn't find a place to live, and now they moved back, and some of those have kids. And then, there's some examples of people that walked into their units and said that this is the nicest place that they've ever had. And those are the stories that make you feel good. The municipality did invest in that project, but again, it's important to note that is now, I talked about that 3% growth in new construction where we didn't have to increase our taxes. That is that investment starting to pay back. Those are new tax dollars to our town that will actually pay back exactly what the municipality did in that economic development grant. But that's just one example. Like if you go to the corner of Bar Road and 127 is, you look at Charlie Bourgeois' development there, Van Horn Garden Homes, they've got, I think, only one left to build after the one that's currently underway, and those are being rented just as quick. So all of this diversified housing, Rodney Legacy's project by Kingsbury, all these different projects are giving different type of housing to St. Andrews, so people can say, hey, I do have a place to live. Are we at the finish line? No, I know no community in Canada is right now. No, but I will say that for a small community, we've probably been best in class of actually creating new housing in a rural area. So I'm proud of this council, like you said, for doing what they said they were going to do when they got elected. And we have a couple more projects that are at a snail pace, I'd call it, like having an apartment behind the New Brunswick Community College. I would love to see that become a reality, but I just, at the pace it's going, think that might be something for the next council. But in the same sense, we want to keep moving it forward. We just did the environmental assessment. Now we're going to be meeting. One of the things we talked about with Susan Holt about, is this a path forward? It does require some environmental mitigation, but the municipality can't do that project on our own. The other ones we have with the developers, this time we need other levels of government to contribute, and we still haven't heard from the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund that our entire region got left out, a multi-billion-dollar housing fund that just skipped our entire, let's call it, riding of New Brunswick Southwest, and you haven't got a reason to why that is. So we're hoping squeaky wheels get grease. I've expressed my displeasure with the program. If you have a multi-billion-dollar project that does not do anything for our region, it actually contributes to tradespeople leaving, inflation. It actually hurts us more than it helps us. So I'm really hoping this time around they look at, again, not just St. Andrews, maybe it's St. Stephen, maybe it's Eastern Charlotte, but we're all stronger if one of us gets these projects approved.
Okay, well, Brad, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be joined by Agostino McNeil, who's going to talk a little bit about other ways we give back in the community, Santa's Helpers. We'll be right back.
When you can't do it all, do what you can. Compassion for others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
If alcohol builds a wall around you that doesn't let you see where you're going, that keeps you feeling isolated and alone, that makes you feel hopeless, know this: we are here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous, there is a way out. For more information, visit aa.org and download the Meeting Guide app.
Welcome back to Your Town Matters. We are once again joined by the mayor of the town of St. Andrews, Brad Henderson, as well as Agostino McNeil. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us. I know I'm not the mayor, but there's a possibility I'll be sitting here anytime soon when I take over for mayor.
Wow, well, I'm impressed how fast you made it on this show.
And I had no choice in this part of the interview.
Well, I know a lot of people will recognize Agostino alongside you, Brad, because he's not only your coach when you're on the Wagwig Warriors hockey team, he's also your sidekick when both of you are here for Santa's Helpers, which is why this is a great way to end our last show of the year, because we raised nearly $45,000 for families in need across Charlotte County this Christmas. And I don't mean we, us, I mean the whole community. It was a really special day. Ago, why is it so important for you to be a part of Santa's Helpers?
It's just a joy for giving to the community, especially if you're a new kid on the block living in a town that is a small town. It's really good to give to the community, and you really feel bad for the people who don't have enough money to afford gifts or food for Christmas.
And you touched on a really neat point too, which is it's a way to not just give back to the community, but to become a part of the community too, because you moved here from Ontario. I think it must be 4 or 5 years now?
3.
Only 3.
Soon going to be 4 in June of 2025.
What were the ways? I think you're a good example when we see so many people move to St. Andrews, to Charlotte County, about how to get involved and how to become a part of the community. What were the ways that you navigated that and became a head coach, sidekick to the mayor, and a part of one of the biggest charitable efforts that we know locally?
Just ask around. I just asked around, hey, can I volunteer here? And or I wanted to coach because I miss telling people what to do. So I said to Brad, I want to coach something like hockey. He said, why don't you just come on Thursdays and coach our team?
Wow, it was that easy.
We're friends through CHCO-TV. This is where we met.
Yes.
Part of Santa's Helpers, and now Ago's, of course, one of my best friends. I'll just say this about Ago is he's up for anything and wants to get involved. And for someone who's fairly new in the community, almost everybody in the community knows who he is. You very rarely go downtown and don't see him. He definitely is someone I see a lot of, and I appreciate him being in St. Andrews, that's for sure. Another
way, we're going to talk about the Dwayne Williams Memorial Tournament too, that you're both involved with. Yes. But another way that just occurred to me now that you're involved with the community is through Shiretown Community Kitchen. Every Friday you are part of the team that makes lunch that is free for the community, donations if they want to leave a donation. A really special way for people in the community, whether they work there like you do or they come to the lunches. What message would you give to people? Because those soups are going to start up again in the new year. Why are they such a special way to meet people from town?
Well, it's just special to get out, get a free meal, talk to people, make new friends, and even get out of the cold.
Because that's at the Anglican Parish Hall, 11:30 to 1:30 on Fridays, most Fridays.
Yes.
You take a little break for Christmas.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Okay, but early January starts up again.
Yes.
I do love seeing you there. But where I'm going to see you before that is Boxing Day.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about, let's start with Brad. Tell us
Yes.
about the tournament and why it's so important and how it gives back.
Yeah, so it originally is something
this is
that's
Dwayne Williams, sorry.
Dwayne Williams Memorial Hockey Game. It originally started, it was just a pickup hockey game when long tells you how old it was. I just was back from my first year of university, and a bunch of us decided that grew up in the community to play a pickup hockey game. And for whatever reason, there ended up being 60, 70 people that came up to watch it. I'll never understand why. But we had lost Dwayne Williams just a couple years prior to cancer. And he was the guy that worked at the W.C. O'Neill Arena. He was what you call one of the people that drive the Zamboni and did the maintenance and the janitorial services. And he was just a face that you saw growing up at that arena. I was a rink rat, like a lot of kids. And we wanted to kind of do something to remember him. So we named it the Dwayne Williams Memorial Hockey Game. And you kind of don't know where it was going to go. But the first year we did it for Louis Tidd, who worked at the hardware store. We were able to raise $7,500 the first year we did. And then for me, it's kind of been a story where it's not about the hockey. The community comes together to give to Charlotte County Cancer or different individuals. You never know, unfortunately, who that individual is going to be. Personally, I've been emotional with the game when it was for Tyler Van Gulpen, who was one of my best friends. And what's kind of, I guess you could say, unfortunate this year is the first couple of years I organized it on my own, but then it went to a whole new level when Keith Rabflab and Kevin Simmons got involved. And this year, unfortunately, the fundraiser is for one of the organizers' wives, Crystal Rabflab, who has a battle with stage 4 cancer right now. And we are raising funds for her. The whole community comes up. Tax receipts are available. The silent auction, last time I heard, had over 70 items in it. So it's really another opportunity like Santa's Helpers where, for me, it's not about what's under the tree. It's what you can give and what you can give to your community. And so many people come up there every year to watch a bunch of people that, let's be honest, are out of shape. They're people they're your neighbors, but the hockey speed's probably not the reason they're there. But they're there to, over the holidays, let members or a member of our community know that you're not alone this holidays. We're thinking of you, and hopefully this helps you in your battle, but also have a better 2025 in the case of the Rabflab family.
Such a beautiful initiative. I find I cry a lot more than you get me crying already.
You're almost for making me do it. I was trying not to look you in the eye, but yeah, again, the year that especially it was for Tyler, when I heard the total, I was on the ice and I was just like you. Yeah.
One of the most beautiful things about life in a small town is that you're constantly reminded of the reasons for the season. And Ago, that makes me wonder, you came from around Toronto where you lived before.
Yes.
But why did you get involved in the things that give back? More than anything, that's where I've seen you in this community.
Well, stumped me on that one, but I can answer that. Well, giving back to the community, it's just a fun thing to do. Well, it's a serious thing to do, not a fun thing to do. But
both.
It's both, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy giving to the community because, like I said, the community gives back to you.
Mm-hmm. And we are so happy you are here.
Thank you.
And it's fun beating Paul Logan every single year.
Yes.
Paul's the general manager of the other team, and let's be honest, has Paul ever beaten us?
Nope.
Will he ever beat us?
Nope.
No, this is going to age well. You watch.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're a great example. I'd love you to hold up your Wawig shirt. For anyone who in 2025 wants to feel a little bit more a part of the community, I think you're a great inspiration for people at home to see that getting involved can be really easy, and it can also be life-changing, not just for the people you help, but in your own life too. It's been the most meaningful thing in my life to be involved in ways that the community looks out for each other, and it's shaped me to be a better person too. So thank you for being such a good example. As we look ahead to 2025, Brad, what are you looking forward to? What challenges do you foresee in the future? What's on your radar?
Yeah, to be honest, from a council perspective, is we're actually very quickly in the new year going to sit together, and it's hard to believe, but say, what are our priorities to get to the finish line? We're that close now, right? Like May of 2026 is an election. This is our last full year as a council. But again, there are a lot of the same challenges that we speak of. Housing hasn't been solved in the area, so we want to continue to focus on that. Municipal reform is still having growing pains. Usually when communities join together, it takes about 10 years really to get to where you need to be. I hope to get there quicker, but we do know that we still have a long way to go. And again, I do indicate that I think as a region, we have to do a better job with healthcare, but it doesn't take away from all the other stuff. NB Power, there's still concerns there. Policing, there's a lot of things that we need to work for, but all in all, it's been such a wonderful another year being the mayor of St. Andrews. I'm not just saying because I grew up here, but the community, like you said, rallies together, and all the different volunteers and everything they do, and a wonderful town staff. I'm very, very blessed to be the voice of the community, and the community on most days makes me look very good when it's really all of their efforts. So I'm pretty fortunate to be the mayor of St. Andrews, and I guess you could say I still love it just as much as I did when I raised my hand many years ago to get involved with town, and I'm blessed.
Well, we are blessed. How often you come in and keep us up to date. Ago, I'm going to leave the last words of the season for you.
Okay.
As you look ahead for 2025, as a community member, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking for us to pick up our season, have a great season of hockey, and hoping to,
offensive communication.
Offensive communication, defense communication, and help your goalie out. The reason I put that there is because some people, when I say help your team out, people think, just help each other out. They forget the goalie. No, you help your goalie out because he's part of your team.
Well, that is a beautiful metaphor for us to leave off on, because I think no one in Charlotte County should be forgotten, and our job as a community is to make sure it's not just the people right around us we see, it's everyone. So what a beautiful message.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for being here. Thank you for making my 2024, and I look forward to sitting down with you both again in 2025.
Thanks for having us.
My guests today have been the mayor of the town of St. Andrews, Brad Henderson, and town of St. Andrews legend, Agostino McNeil. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Your Town Matters.